Just when you thought it was safe to submit an idea to your employer, hold on. Before you do, read The Anatomy of a Corporate Lynching, Updated Edition, and avoid the great white sharks. Available on Amazon worldwide. And hear the audiobook featuring a cast of actors delivering the facts exclusively at fourthfordbooks.com.
So a serial road rager was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of a black motorist in Salem, Oregon. As a jury found him guilty after his case fell apart in court, including the bombshell revelation of a witness that originally said that he was a hitchhiker, but was later discovered to be his son. They say on Wednesday, June the 1st, it said Marion County Judge Cortland Geyer sentenced Manuel North, to life in prison with a minimum of 25 years, 1 week after Marion County jury found him guilty of the 2020 murder of Herman Leslie Graham III. According to the Statesman Journal, they say after 6 days of jury selection, a trial, and a jury verdict, the man was convicted of second-degree murder, but not the first-degree bias crime charge he was indicted with. Witnesses of the traffic altercation who was riding in the same car as the victim recalled the Monday on October 26, 2020 shooting. They said that North used racially violent language toward Graham after he was cut off while the two cars were driving, before fatally shooting him. One of the women in Graham's BMW says she first noticed North's car when they were turning west onto Mission Street Southeast, from Interstate 5 off-ramp. They say now police noted after responding to multiple 911 calls, Jane Doe 1, did not actually see what happened, but believes the driver of the car she was in cut off North on the expressway. She did hear North honking his horn afterwards and yelling bigoted slurs at Graham. The woman also recalled the white man in the Volkswagen raging toward the car she was in as if to run the vehicle off the road. Now, court records stated another witness, a female, said the 48-year-old yelled, "F you, and you're nothing but a N-word, and the KKK is going to get you," during the altercation. And so why didn't he face that bias charge? And he said all that? Immunity of law. It said the first witness added North continued to follow them. And hurled derogatory statements toward Graham, decided to stop near Pipe Bend Place Northeast in hopes to de-escalate the problem. That was in vain. He said, "I'm going to pull over and hopefully he'll go away and maybe he'll pull in," Graham said. They said the witness says as the two cars parked, the men exited the vehicle and met at a point. They said she remembered scrolling through her phone but hearing two loud booms. Say her friend had been shot. It said she looked up and glanced in the luxury car's rearview mirror and noticed Graham lying on the ground in blood. So she immediately jumped out of the car to confront the man who had the firearm in his hand. He wanted her to go back. She stopped in fear. Now, let me say something. I told y'all over the years, and please spread this message to all black people. When you see these white supremacists being very aggressive and bold with you, and they by themselves, they got something on them. Always remember that. The white supremacist is the most cowardly entity on the planet Earth. You understand? They're cowards. Only way a coward is brave is with a gun. This is why they fight for that gun so much, because they're cowards. If they take that gun away from them, they know they can't really compete with you at that point. They know that. This is why they will go through hell and high water to keep that gun in their hand. That's why. This is why the Supreme Court just ruled against New York's law about concealed carry. So everybody now, Texas is like that too. We have it where people can walk around with a gun if they want to. There's no issues, no problem. That's how it is here. Most people, believe it or not, throughout the country don't want that. They want actually sensible gun control. That's what they want. But even in our community, you got black folks that of course, they've been in Babylon long enough, so now they think that just like, they bastardized white daddy, thinking the same thing. I need to be walking around here with a gun, all the time. And that's why I say I really don't want to live the rest of my life in a country where I got to walk around here armed like I'm in the military. If I got to walk around everywhere I go, I'm not talking about protecting your home. I'm not talking about that. No, I believe you should have a way to protect your home. But if you got to walk around in public like that, then what are you doing? What kind of society is that everybody got to walk around like they're in a freaking war zone? Why are we socializing society and children like that? Once again, protection at your home. Somebody try to break in. Hey, I believe you have it. Definitely. But you just walking around going in public. And in other countries, that's not even allowed. It's not allowed. And they don't have the mass shootings that they have in America either. You just don't hear that in a lot of other countries like that. But continuing, they say by the time the sister approached to aid Graham, they say she witnessed North kick a 50 caliber handgun. It's on the ground near Graham's feet. They say officers found it during the initial crime scene investigation. They say the other passenger said he heard one gunshot and saw it hit the driver of the BMW. Now, the autopsy reported that the brother died from being shot multiple times. They when law enforcement arrived on the scene, North claimed self-defense. He said Graham pulled the gun and attempted to carjack him. Of course, he was lying. They say he then provided them with a litany of biographical information. None of that checked out clearly once pressed by the prosecution during the trial. Now, according to police reports, he owned a construction company called CAD Northwest. But when members of the Salem Police Department reached out via the number listed for the business, they were transferred to a different company who said they purchased the company North claimed to own. So they said the new parent company also did not have an office in Eugene. They say where the man is from, nor do they have a record of North currently being employed by them, which would be a key place of evidence for the prosecution. So this white supremacist is lying to the police, okay, just lying. They said North told the police, they said that he had pulled over into Pipeline Bend Place Northeast. They say on his way to the pipe warehouses in the area of the shooting to pick up supplies for a construction job he was hired to perform. So just as the company had no record of him working for them, the business did not have an account with North's alleged company's name. Without the name, it was difficult for North to prove his story, of buying supplies for a job. It said that the company that he owns, his old company, has no record. Now, the passenger in North's car told officers he witnessed Graham driving aggressively and that North was acting in self-defense. His credibility was shot as he told either the police officers he was a hitchhiker picking up North. Later, it was revealed the passenger was actually related to North, his adult son. In a twist of events, the son gave a different report to the police than he gave to the grand jury testimony, causing the motion to be submitted to the Marion County District Attorney's Office to address the discrepancy. Now, lastly, information that was damaging to the white supremacist road rage history. They say the prosecutors want to include as evidence a list of charges to paint the picture of his habitual violent behavior on the road, including criminal and traffic offenses in Lane County and other counties. Yeah, usually these white supremacists have a long history of crimes. And they don't go to jail for them. They just give them a slap on the wrist. Don't do that. Go back, out there in society and wage, white supremacist hell. Now, his defense attorney argued that his client's history shouldn't have been suppressed because it will make it unfairly prejudicial. However, it said Judge Cortland Geyer permitted the evidence ranging from 2015 to 2018 to include in the trial and support the prosecution's petition for conviction. Now, in reviewing the evidence, including testimony from two other victims of North's temper, one in 2015, one in 2018, they said they were still so frightened about what happened. They said it struck me. They said that they were frightened that exactly what happened to Mr. Graham might have happened to them. They said the judge also stated North's action, as it shows a pattern, and Graham's death was totally avoidable. But this is what I would say to black people. Don't you go out there and try to confront these white supremacists like that, unless you got something on you. But I would say avoid it, because the best thing that you can do is avoid confrontation. Even in martial arts, they teach you to avoid. They don't even teach you to go and be the aggressor of anything. Okay? So, I'm gonna pull over and this and that and the third, and no. Don't try. I'm gonna talk to him. No, talk to him about what? You don't know that crazy fool. I don't care who it is. You don't know them people. People are crazy. Now, This white supremacist was sentenced to life with a minimum of 25 years. There was no eligibility for alternative programming. They said he also concluded, he said the mandatory minimum and did not ask for a lesser sentence, and North would be eligible for parole in 25 years, would be approximately in the late 2040s. But yes, black folk, be careful, because trust me, even right here in Houston, a lot of road rage incidents have been happening. People have been getting shot. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. You know, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. Even though this happened 2 years ago, but I'm telling you, it's really happening, you know, definitely even right here in Houston. You know, shout out to Dynas Demir. I was talking to him on his show the other day. You know, a lot of crime in Atlanta. It's all over the place. All the major cities got a lot of crime going on right now. And that's why I told him, you know, shoot, they need to institute another lockdown. So they will lock down, you have all that crap going on. But, you know, y'all let me know what y'all think about this particular story. Like I said, one thing we can learn from this story is just, you know, when these white supremacists getting bold with you, always remember they got a gun, a knife, or something. Don't ever think they just got their bare hands when they're being aggressive with you. Hey family, make sure you join us on the new and improved AfricanDiasporaNews.org. Now, it is our uncensored and raw truth website. We have to make sure to have our own website because on social media platforms, they do have rules, and at any time they could change a rule and shut a whole genre down. Now, that would not happen to us because on AfricanDiasporaNews.org, we can speak the truth. We don't have to hold back. So make sure you join our website today.